P. Diddy could possibly be free from prison, a devastating windstorm blasted through Las Vegas, and more fireballs falling from the sky. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to some of the more strange and mysterious clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
People have just found out why they definitely should not be doing this. With the weather being extremely hot, especially in the UK, there's been a lot of these videos going around of people putting fans under blankets and making this like den. But there's a lot of people saying you definitely shouldn't do this because, well, you could die. While it's absolutely roasting at the moment in the UK and you feel like you cannot cool down, this seems like an amazing idea. Why wouldn't you do it? And all the comments pretty much saying, looks fun until you get pneumonia. But what's actually going on here? Is this true? Well, take a listen and share this with a friend. Pneumonia is basically a bacterial infection caused by fungus and bad things in the air. So what people have been saying is if you're putting a fan under your bed, you're blowing dirty air into your body essentially in this tiny enclosed space, so you're going to get ill. But it's actually the opposite. Doing this isn't as bad as it may seem. You're not just going to get pneumonia from doing this, and if your fans are relatively new, you're going to be okay. However, if you have a dirty fan, ones that haven't been cleaned for a while and they've collected a lot of dust in them, doesn't overly matter if it's under a sheet or in your room, then yeah, you could get it or other diseases because you're breathing in lots of bad fumes. However, of course, if you're blowing it under a blanket, it's reducing the area, so a lot more is going to be intaked by yourself, so probably wouldn't recommend it. As long as your fan doesn't look like that and it's kind of new or clean, then you're probably going to be okay.
Heavens to Betsy if I was to use my fan that's been running since 2010. It basically begs for forgiveness. I can't be the only one that has a fan that old that's just constantly running, never to be shut off.
Las Vegas. We are on Tropicana in front of the Walmart. Every last one of the light poles, the electricity poles are down. This goes for miles. We ain't got no power. I don't know what the hell is going on. This goes for miles, y'all. Look at the cords on the ground. It goes all the way down, miles. What the hell? What the hell? All of these are down, y'all. Every last one of the powers down.
This is fishy. The trees are all standing. This is Las Vegas, Tropicana. But watch this. All the signs are fine. Even this little tiny one right here, standing. But all those poles down the whole boulevard?
That's a lot of damage. Apparently a large windstorm went through, but man, it sure did tear the place up as far as the power lines go. The linemen are about to make a killing out there. And I can only imagine no power in Las Vegas during the summer. That's awful. I'm so sorry for anyone that has to go through that.
What's up, America? Archaeologists have discovered the fabled lost city of Atlantis, and it's only 2 miles off the coast of Spain. So let me show you the images of what archaeologists have found, and there's heavy evidence of a tsunami destroying the area. So this is a computer graphic model of what the area of Cadiz, Spain used to look like approximately 11,000 years ago, before evidence shows that there was a tsunami at the time that pushed the coastal regions backwards quite a bit to what you're seeing in the modern day. Plato described Atlantis as a city of rings and water with bridges and technological advancements, and this is what the computer model is showing. This is actually now all underwater, by the way. So archaeologists believe these are some images of what remains of Atlantis. Plato's harbor wall, you can see, remains underwater. Multi-island platforms that are now different as far as the coastal changes were concerned. Underwater formations that still need to be explored, and a computer model of basically how it looked while it was in the water, as crude as it is. And of course, here's another coastal formation that they believe was the remains of Atlantis off the coast of Spain. Now, as I said, this area was decimated approximately 10,000 years ago, according to archaeologists, by a tsunami. This isn't the first underwater city discovered, nor would it be the first city to be destroyed by a natural disaster completely. And so, given the evidence of Plato's writings, it would make sense that Atlantis wouldn't be thousands of miles in the middle of the ocean somewhere. It it would be near where people might be able to actually access it, maybe up to and including only a couple miles off the European coast somewhere, like this archaeologist discovered.
That's pretty interesting. That's not no concrete evidence that it's Atlantis, but it's still a really cool discovery. And I've been thinking, you know, what if Atlantis, if it really did exist, what if it wasn't an island? Or maybe to people it did seem like an island, but what if it was a spaceship and it just left? That's a pretty interesting theory. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Wednesdays and Sundays, I do reactionless compilations so that you can watch the videos by yourself. And with that, I want to say thank you guys for supporting the channel.
So just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. I said that I was done, completely done with all of the end of the world stuff because I keep having to say the words entertainment purposes only, and I'm sick to death of it. And I gotta say, I am pretty proud of myself for not talking about the war one freaking time. That was this close. But I would be amiss if I didn't mention all of the weird bullshit that's been happening in the past, week? A so-called meteor came crashing down over Georgia and parts of Alabama. NASA said that it was about 3 feet wide and it hit with the force of 20 tons of TNT. But people on the ground saying that it didn't fall like a meteor. It moved sideways. It rose back up and it made no sound. And then a piece of it landed in a guy's yard. He took a photo of it just before the suit showed up. I'd show you, but I'm not allowed to do green screen anymore. The piece of rock or whatever the hell it was glowing and it buried itself over 2 feet into the ground. Was it a rock? How am I supposed to know? Because the government swooped in ET style and just scooped it up. You can find those pictures on the internet too. You've probably already seen them. And then comes the broadcast. People across Georgia started reporting emergency broadcast interruptions. Now, these broadcasts weren't your usual beep, beep, tornado warning broadcasts. No, these were black screen takeovers with robotic voices talking about unusual atmospheric activity. And then, but apparently it didn't stop with the silence because all it took was for me to scroll 2 or 3 more videos down to see that people are now claiming that what came through next was something else entirely. Well, Alan, was it a message from NASA? The government? No, it was a message from the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki. Ancient sky beings and all that shit. The message said that they know about the wars above us and the ones down here. They know about the meteor and that it wasn't a meteor at all, and they said that weird weather is coming. And they finished it off with a message that they're just here to help. All of this, allegedly, all right? Because people swear that they saw it. Others saying it's all gone now. It's wiped from the internet. Nobody can find this video. I call, you know what? Surely somebody TiVo'd it. But if the Men in Black showed up, I don't know. Today on Facebook Marketplace, I saw somebody was selling a neuralizer, so I don't know. Why now? Why there? And how come so many people across multiple states are saying the same exact damn thing? Maybe it's fake. Maybe it's something more. But the one thing is for certain. Whatever the damn fireballs that are coming down all over the east coast of the United States, I saw that shit. Did you see that shit? This is picking up. This is getting real. Just wait to see what's coming next. But let me know in the comment section what you think. Damn it, man.
I have not personally seen the fireballs. I have not seen any message on my television or heard any kind of response from the Anunnaki. You would think that there would be, like, if there was an emergency message just flashing on your TV, there would be videos everywhere of people recording what's going on their TVs if that was the case. But they're not. So I guess they're just doing it for the attention aspect of it, because it's what's viral and what's getting media attention. But let me know in the comments, do you believe in this whole Anunnaki message that was on people's TVs? And what do you think of the fireballs? I really do not think that there's a lot of them. I just think that there was a couple of things in the sky that got caught on film, and those videos just spread rapidly online, making people think that there's a lot of things falling from the sky. I could be wrong, but that's just the way that I view it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Have you heard the theory that AI is our response to losing religion? As we've taken the Nietzschean downslope of there's nothing. We had a void and had to create our own God.
I have heard that.
And if
Okay,
you think
yeah.
about AI, it's 24 hours a day. It could be anywhere, and it's everywhere all the time. But if you think about like the 5 properties of what people believe God of any kind is, aside from loving, because it can't, to your point, emote, it ticks off every box of a literal deity.
It's idolatry. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where it literally leads. It's nuts. I mean, we're seeing that's already happened where people are becoming in relationships with AI and
Yeah.
literally treating it as a god, and there's like religions based around it already. And we're just building that trust right now of that, like, of just, oh yeah, this is great, this is awesome. And it's just building that first relationship with our first interaction with AI.
We talk about like the Book of Enoch a lot on this podcast too. It talks specifically about these, was it 7
Watchers.
The Watchers. These Watchers came to Earth and they were supposed to literally just watch over humanity. But they turned against God. But then it says that they taught them all these things, like basically everything that AI can do.
Yeah.
Is what these 7 Watchers were teaching man.
It's the Tower of Babel all over again. One of the watchers was supposed to be preserving and, living in accordance with the instructions given by God. And instead they were trying to ascend to a place, replacing God, which the parallels to where we are now are pretty crazy.
It's so scary.
I do not think that AI can replace any god or anyone's true faith in religion. They're not going to just magically one day believe in AI god. Now, I do feel like there is going to be some people out there that are faithless, and they probably will start following AI as if it was a godly entity. I could definitely see that. There is people forming relationships with AI, and if I'm not mistaken, there's some churches now implementing AI for confessions. So eventually, I do believe that there will be some people that have a following for AI as a faith. It'll probably be a very well-known due to social media type of organization.
Gates has changed his mind about simulation theory. In 2017, a group of scientists at the University of Washington proved they can embed computer code into strands of DNA. Everything in nature is math. Look at the Fibonacci sequence. You get the Fibonacci sequence by adding 2 previous numbers in the sequence together. So 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 1 = 3, 3 + 2 = 5, 5 + 3 = 8, and so on forever. You get the golden ratio, also called phi, by dividing 2 consecutive Fibonacci numbers. So the number 89 is a Fibonacci number. The next number in the sequence after 89 is 144. 144 divided by 89 is the golden ratio. It's about 1.618. We see Fibonacci numbers and the golden ratio everywhere. The number of petals on a flower is usually a Fibonacci number. Lilies have 3 petals, buttercups have 5, chicory has 21, and a daisy has 34. And the spacing of each petal is arranged in a circle according to the golden ratio. As trees grow, the number of branches they form is a Fibonacci number. And not just plants, animals too.
Airships, actual boats that were attached to one or more balloons in the 1700s. Check this one out. This one is from one of the World's Fairs. It says Exposition Universelle 1894. At the top, we've got this gigantic balloon, and it is tied to and holding up a house, a mansion at that. If I were to zoom in, notice this underneath it. Okay, this is real. This really existed. I looked this up, I had studied this, and this apparently actually was a floating mansion that was tied to a balloon, and this right here was an elevator, an ancient elevator, 1800s, 1894. And the people down here at the bottom at the World's Fair, the people would get into these elevators. There's one right here, actually. You see this one? There's an elevator that's attached, and they would ride the elevator all the way up and get off into this huge mansion that was a floating house in the sky, a floating castle. They made these in the old world. Just wanted to show you, this is from the National Air and Space Museum website and the Smithsonian, and they have a whole article that displays, this floating castle idea. Here's other ones. These are more hot air balloons. So before they actually had the ability to try to steer the ships, navigating the skies, it was pretty much balloons that had ships attached to them, which is why they're called airships, right? As you can see here, it's clearly a boat. It's a sky boat, right? People rode around. There's even a net. This guy's climbing the net, just like it's a ship, like a pirate ship or something. But these are the pirates of the air, the pirates of the sky. And they learned how to navigate the sky.
That's really cool, but I would be terrified to go up there. Honestly, I would be terrified to be around it on the ground. What if that thing popped?
Ain't no way. In yet another stunning turn of events, Diddy might walk free today. Now that is because after being found not guilty on 3 out of the 5 charges, his defense have now requested that the judge release him on bail and suggested a $1 million bond. And the judge is now considering it. He has adjourned the court and he's asking for letters from both sides to make their case so he can go away and weigh up the argument. So, bro, Brian Steele has done it again. This is the same lawyer that got Young Thug off. And despite claiming that Thug stood for truly humble underdog, yo, we literally have a real life Saul Goodman. What a wild year.
I thought that there was overwhelming evidence that P. Diddy was a horrible person that did most of the things that people were claiming that he did. But there's a lot of people on here raising some serious eyebrows, and I understand why. It definitely seems like something's going on in the court system on that one. Maybe the judge went to those freak-offs. I have a feeling some bad stuff's about to go down if he comes out.
Another doomsday prophecy? Sure, but this one might actually be different. And the date? July 5th, 2025. This is Japan's Ryo Tatsuki, and she's not your typical prophet. Since the 1970s, she's been recording her dreams, which seem to be these vivid, disturbing glimpses of the future. She eventually became a manga artist, and in 1999, she released this comic called The Future I Saw, which visualized her dream premonitions. And at first, nobody paid attention until her predictions started coming true. And out of 15 dreams, 13 have reportedly come to pass. In 1976, she dreamt of Freddie Mercury's death, which happened only 15 years later. In 1992, she foresaw Princess Diana's death, which came true 5 years later in 1997. And she even predicted the 1995 Kobe, Japan earthquake, down to the exact year. But the moment that really shocked people was her eerily accurate vision of the 2011 tsunami and Fukushima disaster decades before it happened. And one of her dreams described a strange illness in 2020 spreading from Asia, causing global panic, lockdowns, and mass confusion. Sounds a little too familiar. And now all eyes are on her next prophecy, July 5th, 2025. Allegedly, this massive catastrophe is going to strike East and Southeast Asia. Some believe it'll be a tsunami triggered by seismic activity between Japan and the Philippines. And people are paying attention. Flight bookings to Japan and Hong Kong have dropped 83% for early July. Some are even calling for tourists to cancel their trips. Now, skeptics and debunkers call this mere coincidence, but here's the twist. We've also got predictions from Nostradamus, who pointed to the mid-2020s as a time of serious upheaval. And even Baba Vanga, the infamous blind Bulgarian psychic, predicted a major shift in 2025 as well. Could they all be connected? Of course, you have to take these things with a huge grain of salt. Most of the time, predictions and visions of the future don't come true at all. And even Ryo Tatsuki herself said that the date might not be exact, although it seems that something is definitely in the air. So what do you think? Make sure to leave a comment with your thoughts and follow for more unexplained mysteries.
Well, we only have a few days left, so we'll see. I mean, I hope nothing bad happens, but if something does happen, there might be something to this. I've heard of all the other people that he talked about, but I've never heard of Ryo Tatsuki before.
North Ontario Bigfoot captured on video near Lake Shore. This amazing video was captured by some boaters of a Bigfoot coming out of the open just briefly, then retreating back into the tree line. The Bigfoot keeps a forward-leaning profile throughout the video and even kicks back the leg at an incredible angle that is typical characteristic of Bigfoot. Also, the arms are very long, and there are a few frames where the knuckles of the creature nearly brush the rocky ground. What an amazing video of what looks like Bigfoot because of all the characteristics. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.
I wish we could have gotten a little bit closer in on it, because otherwise that could have been the best Bigfoot sighting ever. If we would have just been able to be a little closer and a little clearer. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that that was Bigfoot?
We have a weird creature sighting. This was actually captured around June 29th in Mazamitla, Jalisco, Mexico. And the woman was out on her balcony just enjoying the evening when she noticed something by her car. So she pulls out her phone and quickly records and captures this weird looking creature that honestly looks like an alien. I have slowed down the video and zoomed in, and it still looks like an alien. Take a look at this footage, comment below, tell me what you think this is.
I'm not sure what that was. Could have been an owl if this is not a hoax video, but I would have taken out something other than a phone to record the situation. I would have probably fired off a couple of shots in the air just to see what would have happened. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video. I wanted to say thanks for all the support and the understanding of the video that I uploaded yesterday with no reaction. That was the first of my attempt to see what it would be like to upload a video that had no reaction. It was just basically a compilation. And overall, the response was fairly well. There was some people that had some nitpicks about it, totally understandable, but there's a lot of people that also really enjoy watching that type of content. So I'm just really glad to see that it worked out fairly well and people enjoyed themselves nonetheless. And just real quick, because I thought it was a really funny and sweet comment, I want to give a big shout out to Ellen. I don't know who you are, but I know you're in Australia. 21 A's on a report card out of 23? That's pretty impressive. Keep up the good work. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me today. And with that being said, have a good day.